should be Asda, it should be Tesco. I mean, this lot look like Waitrose.
Well, I think we've got a new co-op over here.
Good old co-op.
Co-op.
No. But anyway, I imagine this is a pretty intelligent, cultural audience. They probably don't understand this that being a method school of acting. I should think they could probably imagine themselves as Asda and Tesco supporters, don't you think? So should we go this half here for Asda?
Over as far as my agent's phone.
Yeah. So the Asda's half. So it's constant clapping, and then it's clap hands if you're an Asda fan. Clap hands if you're an Asda fan. Clap hands if you're an Asda fan.
Random clapping.
Random modern music, isn't it? Yeah, right. It's good. Yeah.
So, what do you think, folks? Can we beat that?
Yes.
Right. 1, 2, 3. Let's go! Let's go! It's cheaper down at Tesco.
Let's go, it's cheaper down at Tesco. Let's go, it's cheaper down at Tesco. Let's
Well, I think the stewards would throw a few out.
I think the Remains one. Yeah, so what happened next, Mike?
Well, it fizzled out as usual. Some hardline thugs were sent in by Walmart. Mounted police had to keep the sides apart. There were traders selling scarves and rosettes, and some shivering half-naked majorettes. Sky TV sent in an outside broadcast crew. It became an instant hit on pay-per-view. Now when all you want to do is go and shop, you will be serenaded by the Tesco cop. Shop on, with loyalty card, and you'll never shop alone. You'll never shop alone. All together now. Shop on, with loyalty card, and you'll never shop alone. You'll never shop alone. That's quite moving, really. We've talked a lot about football. I'm a Bristol City supporter, but I'm not just interested in football. In fact, I'm a little bit sporty, me. I like watching darts on the TV. I've got the latest version of Wii. Wii Dominoes keeps me on my toes. Mike, he's got virtual cribbage. He plays it on his phone. The screen's too small to see the cards, but he doesn't seem to moan. I've got the latest activewear, Beyonce's designer brand. It makes me feel so good and fit, like I'm already tanned. I'm a little bit sporty, me. I like Formula One Grand Prix. I've got a poster in my room of Jenson Button. He comes from Froome. Didn't do very well last year. Now he has retired, I hear. Mike, as we know, is a fan of Bath FC. He's immune to adversity, which is really just as well. They've been through a dismal spell, but bless his heart, he's always optimistic they'll sign a striker from the Evo Stick League who doesn't suffer half-time fatigue. I'm a little bit sporty, me. I've got one of those stationary bikes, you see. I keep it locked up in my shed. Getting it nicked is what I dread. So it never moves at all. I always get a bus instead. I'm a little bit sporty, me. I've got one of those cross trainers and they're not for free. He's always yelling in a voice that shakes. I reckon it's all the steroids he takes. I'm a bit sporty, me. I've signed up for a month of Tai Chi. Do you want to know how it's going? Oh, do you? Do you want to know how it's going? Do you? You better, because otherwise we can't go anywhere. It's going quite I think I need another month on top of that. I'm a little bit sporty now. I've got trainers for every eventuality. I've got trainers for running, trainers for walking, trainers for waiting in queues. I'm like Imelda Marcos and their shoes. I've even got trainers for watching the news. I'm a little bit sporty, me. I thank God for my 68-inch curved screen, surround sound, high definition, smart TV. Sporty? That's me. By the way, Mike, I've never told you about my experience of watching football in Greece. I'm not talking about the Champions League, Manchester United against Panathinaikos. I'm talking about little local league football. You see, Alex and I, we quite often go and stay with friends who live in the Peloponnese, in a little town called Tyros, and they've got their own football team, the Tyros Argonauts, and they play in the Arcadian League. And if they're playing at home, I normally go with Nigel and we join the other 30 or so Greeks sitting on the concrete bench watching the game. And of course it's usually towards the end of the season, and it's alleged that quite often the result has been agreed before kick-off between the coaches. But nevertheless, it's very exciting to see them really getting involved and falling down and all that. And of course they invented tragedy, didn't they, the Greeks? And the crowd is a bit like a Greek chorus, and it's really improved my Greek vocabulary. I can now shout, "You're a wanker" in Greek. And also, "Hey, Oedipus, we know what you do with your mother at night." Well, actually, they've reduced it to a little portmanteau word, but which I'm not going to share with you tonight, because we told the management of this theatre that, in fact, we'd only have one slightly offensive word used during the show, and I think we've already exhausted our wanker quota, don't you, Mike? Yeah.
Anyhow, I like Greece as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we used to spend most of October in Greece.
At the risk of sounding a bit pedantic, a grammarian, I think that was a past tense you were using there, Mike. You used
Well, a few years ago, Steph announced a new rule that we had agreed to. She said, "We're not flying anymore."
How are you supposed to get there then?
Well, we did go once more afterwards. We worked out a strategy, but it proved so expensive that we've not been back since. But I did like Greece because I found if I spent October in Greece, I could just about get through Christmas without attacking anybody. Anyhow, what we did, I'm walking to Greece, I'm walking to Greece. I'm heeding the bleeding of eco-police. I'm casting off my long johns, my wellies and my fleece. I'm packing a rucksack and I'm walking to Greece. Now you may think I'm crazy to be walking to Greece. What I'm trying to say is I'm not flying, at least. Think about my carbon footprint, my emissions must decrease. Flying is for saucers and migrating geese. I'm taking the train 'cause I don't want to drive. It's safer and it's quicker, and at least I should arrive in Greece, where they got ancient things and feta cheese with chives. They got Nana Muscori, if she's still alive. I'm going aboard that Eurostar at sanctified Pancras. It's not hectic like Heathrow, it's a cool terminus. Then that Adriatic ferry, and finally a bus. I'll arrive with a clear conscience, if a tad bilious. The Greeks will not be fazed by the arrival of me. I am unknown in that Ionian territory, but then it seems I'm equally unknown apparently. So I'm walking to Greece, I'm walking to Greece. I'm eating the bleeding of the eco-police. I'm casting off my long johns, my wellies and my fleece. I'm packing a rucksack and I'm walking, walking, walking to Greece.
Well, Alex and I, we still fly, I'm afraid, when it's convenient. But there's one thing about travel that makes me sick. It's that so many carry a selfie stick, and they stand with their backs to these fabulous places, snapping the vacuous grins on their faces, as if to say, look at us, aren't we great? And their heads obscure the Brandenburg Gate. Imagine Hillary and Tenzing on top of the world, giggling like a pair of schoolgirls, stepping back, selfie stick out. For them, it's their best moment yet, as they tumble backwards into Tibet. That selfie stick is but one more stroke in the endless flow of the virtual river that floats the ego. It's all about me. The world mere wallpaper, suffused by my id, like insidious vapour. And from vapour comes vapid, and so become we. You know, in my life's unravelling, I've done a lot of travelling. I've been north of the Arctic Circle to the land of Mrs. Merkel. I've been south of the equator to the home of the first potato. I've sweltered in tropical climes, and I'm not talking about a day out of Weston at the Tropicana. I've seen a play in Rio called Passionate Crimes. I visited two of the Guggenheims. I love art and like to spend evenings planning exotic weekends to visit an early Modigliani or a giant bronze of a bacon sarnie placed in a plaza in far-off Tashkent. Only to find when I get there, it's been lent to the Prado in Spain. It's part of some swap for a Goya beauty wearing no top. This fashion for art to be on the move has knocked me from my travel groove. I no longer want to chance that on a weekend in Provence I'm swearing out loud, sacré bleu, hey bollocks, they've exchanged their Matisses for Jackson Pollocks. It's not just art that's moving from here to there. Galleries are popping up everywhere. The Tate has spread like a case of hives to Bankside, Liverpool and St Ives. The V&A talks of Stratford East. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if the French didn't plan some cunning manoeuvre to open in Pill, a branch of the Louvre. Soon there'll be no need to go on an arduous trek to a gallery show. We'll just have to sit here and wait for the gallery itself to pop up in Yate. There'll be no more expensive foreign journeys. We'll have the Mona Lisa in Barragoni.
Claim she gets is really quite incredible. The general consensus is the pizzas are inedible. Trisha plays a tuba in a bathtub of beef stew. The John Lennon melody from Love, Love Me Do. Tickets are on sale, book now to beat the rush. And for a small donation you can join her in the marsh. They call it avant-garde.
Must be avant-garde.
Is pure Laurel and Hardy.
The films in which they star usually gave rise to hurling custard pies, and these days something similar could win the Turner Prize. And these days something similar could win the Turner Prize.
With every year that passes, we are nearer to that stage where the book of our life story will reach its last page. And that begs the question, will it have a clear conclusion? Or will readers in years to come end up in confusion, never knowing if it was the butler with the lead pipe, or if that saucy neighbour with her innuendos ripe proffered more than merely words, or if she was all hype? It seems to me we run the risk we could be called too early to sit that entrance test to those gates so early.
I'll be coming, Lord, I'll be there when you're called. I'll get there just as soon as I can. It's a little inconvenient at the moment, after all. I'm a very important man. Some loose ends need tying together. I have to get someone to cover my patch. I might come in late, you might have to wait. You better leave the pearly gates on the latch. Come on the latch. Leave them on the latch. Leave them on the latch. Leave them on the latch. I know I've been wicked and sinful, took more than I ever gave back. Left people in need because of my greed. But you know, sometimes a man can lose track. I need just a little more time here to make all the odds and ends match. So if you call me tonight, I regret that you might have to leave the pearly gates on the latch. Leave them 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 on the latch. I'm not the kind of pilgrim that cowers and cringes. Leave them on the latch or I'll lift them off the hinges. I've been listening to your manifesto. That forgiveness thing's a puzzle to me. You know I've been trying my best though. It doesn't come naturally. You got a fireplace in your basement, of justice for the sinners you catch. When it's time for confession, I need a long session. Better leave the pearly gates on the latch. Leave them on the latch. Sing sinners, leave them on the latch. Sing souls, leave them on the latch. late. You might have to wait, you better leave the pearly gates on the latch. Leave them on the latch last time. Leave them on the latch. Leave them on the latch. Leave them on the latch. I think so.
Yeah. Or, you know,
You did tell me I wouldn't have to, but
no. Well,
right,
so,
here we go.